JV game won by Newcastle 44-42. Ballantyne, the shorter man by 5 inches, controls the tip. Rick Bivens moves it across as the Trojans start out in a zone defense. And that shot is missed by Dennis Ballantyne. They battle for the rebound, and Sean Tabor of Newcastle comes up with it.
Well, Ballantyne missed that shot, but that's a pretty good shot for him against that zone, about 8 feet there on the baseline. He's going to connect on a good percentage of those.
Jason Holmes for 3, and he's got it. You talked about Jason Holmes in your pregame comments.
Well, we saw him early in the season. I really like Jason Holmes as a player, and Bivens is really going to have to get out and put some pressure on him as he squares up for that three-point jumper.
Kokomo working the ball around. 22 is Donnie Bowling. 20 is Rick Bivens. 30, Pete Corpetz. Dennis Ballantyne, 34, is called for traveling. There's a look at Dennis Ballantyne, the 6'3" junior.
See Kokomo in their full court press there. First time that they've had an opportunity to get into it. We'll have to see how well Newcastle's able to handle it.
Well, they handled it pretty well. They beat that press. Huckabee outside Holmes, and he does it again. Jason Holmes with a pair of 3s, and Newcastle leads 6-0.
Now, they did a nice job. They had Tabor in the middle of the press, got in the ball, took the ball down the baseline to draw the defense down, then knocked it back out to Holmes with a three-pointer. It was wide open.
Donnie Bowling. And a good job of boxing out by Kyle Huckabee, who grabs the rebound. This is Chris Huntley moving it across to Holmes. They go down low to England, to Tabor. Jason Holmes. And he forces it inside, and it's taken on a hop by Ballantyne. Bowling against Huntley, and Huntley commits the foul.
Nice job that time by Donnie Bowling. He had the break, one-on-one, just took the ball right to the defensive man. Nothing that Huntley could do in that situation but foul him. Not quite quick enough to turn him without the foul.
So Donnie Bowling was fouled. It's a common foul. Bivens inbounding inside. The shot is missed by Ballantyne. And 6'8" Eric England with the rebound. Holmes moves it across. Sean Tabor. Off the dribble. Sean Tabor. And it's 8-0 Newcastle.
Kokomo right now just not getting very much pressure on the basketball out of that zone. Tabor able to dribble right around the defender.
Kokomo ball. 5:40 to go, first period. Ryan Smalley. This is Rick Bivens taking it to the hoop, but he misses. Ballantyne for Kokomo's first points of the game. 8-2 Trojans. Holmes tries to dribble through a few men and doesn't. And there's a steal. The interception by Bowling and the basket. Unusual sequence.
Well, a good decision there by Donnie Bowling. He started to make the pass, and then nobody came out to guard him, so he had a nice 7-foot jump shot wide open.
Huntley. Jason Holmes to Chris Huntley. Brandon Riggs not in the starting lineup. Holmes misses this time, but the rebound is put up and in by Sean Tabor. Talking about Brandon Riggs, he's missed the last 3 games with an ankle injury. He should see action in this game. 10-4 Newcastle. Bowling. Corpetz, and Pete Corpetz hits. So it's 10-6. A very important point where Newcastle had the 8-0 lead, and Kokomo fortunately got on the board. Holmes. And he misses, and Rick Bivens has the rebound. Using a Ryan Smalley pick. Nice pass inside to Ballantyne, who is fouled. Good pass from Corpetz.
That was a nice pass. Newcastle just didn't get the job done of getting in there and fronting that low post, and good pass into Ballantyne. Made a nice drop step move and took it up strong to the basket.
Eric England commits the personal. First substitution of the game, Chad Berry, number 51, checks in for Newcastle, replacing Eric England.
Ballantyne will shoot 2.
Well, we'll see how Kokomo does from the line tonight. This, as it's been all season, has been one of their problems, free throw shooting.
That one's good.
He connects on that one. The Cats only shooting 55% from the free throw line this season. There's the replays. You see Ballantyne getting the ball in the block, takes it up strong, and big number 45 there, Eric England, just slaps him on the wrist.
Ballantyne misses that one, but Donnie Bowling follows. Donnie Bowling with 2 field goals. Very quickly, the Wildcats are within a point. They're down 10-9 after trailing 8-0.
Well, and that's 4 points they've got on putbacks, too, so I think we're seeing the effect of not having Brandon Riggs, the Newcastle's leading rebounder, in the lineup.
Good move by Kyle Huckabee, and he's fouled as well. It counts in a foul. Donnie Bowling commits the personal foul. Nice baseline move. Huckabee at the line. I thought the official said the basket counts. He did. They just haven't put the points up there yet. Now they put them up there. Kyle Huckabee, a 6'3" freshman. Free throw is no good. 12-9 in favor of Newcastle. Donnie Bowling, and he's fouled as Chris Huntley goes reaching in. And that's 2 personals on Huntley.
Newcastle foul on Chris Huntley. That's his second team.
So Donnie Bowling will be at the free throw line. Check that. It's a common foul. Rick Bivens inbounding, a non-shooting foul. Corpetz down low to Ballantyne, into the lane. Follow. They battle. It'll belong to Newcastle. There it is, 3:29 to go first period. The Trojans leading 12-9. Jason Holmes, and he turned the ball over. Well, there's the effectiveness of that press.
Well, think about playing against a press like that. If you're playing against it for the whole game, well, eventually that just starts to wear on you, and you're going to have some turnovers after a while, and that's the first one we saw right there against the Kokomo press.
We just saw a shot of Sam Alford, the coach of the Trojans. Bivens for 3, and he hits. Rick Bivens. We are tied at 12 with 3:05 to go in the first period. They beat the press. Holmes, nice lead pass, and Brandon Riggs misses. The rebound, Pete Corpetz. Bivens has Bowling on the right. Bivens all the way, and is called for traveling. As you can hear the officials say, he walked first.
Well, that miss by Riggs on the other end is tough because Newcastle did exactly what you want to do against the press. If you can get the ball off the floor and get an easy basket, then that's really to your advantage when you're playing against the press. And they had the chance there. Riggs just missed the layup.
You saw Charlie Hall, the interim coach of the Wildcats, a moment ago. They worked that ball down low to Chad Berry. He can't hang on to it. Donnie Bowling. The Wildcats take the lead 14-12. What a run. Kokomo on a 14-4 run, and Sam Alford has seen enough. He wants time. Timeout, Newcastle. 2:22 to go in the first period. Kokomo 14, Newcastle 12, and Newcastle led 8-0.
Well, they did, and Kokomo since that point has really been the aggressor. They've got a couple of putbacks on the offensive board. And then Newcastle has really not helped their own cause. They missed a layup against the press. Last time down, they got the ball inside to Chad Berry. He got the ball down too low, had it knocked away, didn't really take care of it. So Newcastle just really has caused themselves some problems by not playing very well here in the last 3 minutes.
It's the second time we've had Newcastle this season. We had them earlier in the year. When I think of Newcastle basketball, I think of 2 players come to mind.
Well, Sam Alford, or Steve Alford, and Kent Benson.
That's right.
The 2 Mr. Basketballs. But yeah, they've had a lot of good players come through at Newcastle, and Sam's been there a long time. Is really doing an excellent job. Has done an excellent job with the Newcastle program.
Absolutely. Of course, we've featured Kokomo many times on our TV 40 Game of the Week. It's always a pleasure to come to Memorial Gym. Jason Holmes. Huckabee. Holmes has 2 3-point field goals. Now Huckabee for 3. And he hits. Kyle Huckabee. His brother Barry played for the Trojans last year. Now attending Boston University, I believe. Kokomo ball. Ballantyne, nice pass inside to Smalley, who has it knocked away, and a good defensive effort by Brandon Riggs.
Well, it looked like Smalley just couldn't quite get the handle, and he put the ball on the floor. As soon as he did, the ball was knocked away.
Rick Bivens, 2 inbound. Corpetz. Pete Corpetz has his second field goal. 16-15, Kokomo. 1:35 left in the first period. Holmes to Tabor to Holmes. Huckabee. Holmes. Pass deflected, intended for Riggs, and the interception by Corpetz. Bowling from long range. Donnie Bowling. 18-15. It is a 2-pointer, and Donnie Bowling already has 4 field goals for 8 points. Jason Holmes moves it across. Wildcats by 3. Less than a minute to go in the first period. Holmes can't hang on. Ballantyne to Bowling. 1-on-4. And he draws the foul. Jason Holmes fouls him. Number 1 on Holmes.
Newcastle foul on Jason Holmes.
3 substitutions. You see the clock, 18-15 Kokomo. Jim Bell, Ryan Wiedenoff, all in there for Kokomo. Jeff Bender as well.
There you see the replay, and Jason Holmes just comes right down top of him and then grabs him. He's trying actually to keep him from falling on the floor.
Here's Travis Reitzman in there for Newcastle. Wiedenoff, Jeff Bender, who just checked in. Bowling. And the long one is good by Dennis Ballantyne.
Kokomo really shooting the ball well right now in this first quarter. You know, they've shot 46% from the field on the year, but shooting much better than that so far tonight.
Jason Holmes is short. Brandon Riggs has the rebound. 20 seconds remaining in the first period.
So Kokomo switched into man-to-man here.
Riggs. And as he goes up, he is fouled with 13 seconds left in the quarter. Dennis Ballantyne commits his first personal. There's Sam Alford. Brandon Riggs at the free throw line.
I really think one thing that'll be important is how well Riggs is able to play tonight. He's been out the last 3 games with an ankle injury, but he's a real key for the Newcastle Trojans. He's the second leading scorer behind Holmes and the leading rebounder, so they're really going to need his body in there as Kokomo bangs around the boards against the Trojans.
This is 6'3" senior, misses the first, makes the second. 20-16 Kokomo. Wildcats playing for the last shot here. Bowling, and he's got it. And they didn't get the ball in. The turnover. I had my eye on the scoreboard, Brian. It reads 3 seconds left.
Well, I looked up the scoreboard about the same time as you did, but there was a violation there along the baseline, so Kokomo's going to get another shot at it.
Jim Bell, no good, and that's the end of the first quarter. He may have stepped in bounds and not been out of bounds when he wanted to inbound the ball. At the end of the first quarter, Kokomo 22, Newcastle 16. Back with period 2 in just a moment. Fans enjoying the game here at Memorial Gym as we begin period number 2. Newcastle has the ball. Brandon Riggs, guarded by Ballantyne. And, of course, pass inside. The interception by Bender. Beautiful lead for Ballantyne, who misses the dunk shot. Donnie Bowling. Ballantyne and Bell knock it away from each other. Winds up in Travis Reitzman's hand.
Well, Kokomo missed a beautiful opportunity there when Ballantyne missed the dunk rather than just take it up and lay it off the glass.
Ball batted out of bounds by Brian Wiedenoff.
Newcastle really causing themselves some problems here, starting to dig a little hole. They're just not taking very good care of the basketball.
Jason Holmes inbounding. Here's Brandon Riggs. Misses the shot. Jim Bell with the rebound. The big fellow at 6'11". Wiedenhoff to Bell. Valentine, look at that effort by Riggs, and he almost came up with it. Bender faking a three and hitting.
Jeff Bender.
First 2 points of the game for Jeff Bender.
Kokomo really shooting the ball well. We talked about getting some momentum going into tournament play, and if this is a sign of things to come, then they're going to be in pretty good shape.
Eric England with a basket. 24-18. Kokomo, the Wildcats trailed 8-0.
I'll see Newcastle switch the defense up just a little bit, going from the 2-3 to a 1-3-1 now.
Wiedenhoff to Bender. Wiedenhoff. Donnie Bowling. Bender. Good D by Newcastle.
Well, they're getting out. They're getting a little better pressure on the ball. Kokomo's been shooting the ball so well, and they're getting better pressure on the ball out of this 1-3-1 than they were in the 2-3.
Eric England bats the ball out of bounds. Here comes Ryan Smalley back in, and Pete Corpetz back in for Kokomo, and they replace Jim Bell and Dennis Ballantyne. There's Ryan Smalley, 52. Jeff Bender inbounding out to Ryan Smalley. To Wiedenhoff. This is Bender. And Corpetz could not hold on. So it'll belong to the Trojans with 5:58 to go in the first half, and Kokomo leading 24-18. Our director tonight is Dave Strite.
Well, we got a 10-second violation on the Newcastle Trojans that time, just not aggressive enough against Kokomo's pressure.
Newcastle number 43, Kyle Huckabee.
Kyle Huckabee back in for Newcastle.
Sam Alford on the sideline wondering, thinking maybe that was an awfully quick 10 seconds, and it did seem like it went by awfully rapidly.
Wiedenhoff. Follow no good by Smalley. Eric England with the rebound. Here's Jason Holmes hit those 2 quick threes, and they've held him in check since then. Huckabee. Good rebound by Donnie Bowling. And he is fouled by Sean Tabor. First personal on Tabor. Common foul, so it'll be Kokomo's ball.
Well, Newcastle just attacked the rebounder that time, and if you're going to do that, you really have to watch reaching in, trying to take the ball away, because they're going to call that foul a great deal of the time.
Here's Jeff Bender. Back outside it goes to Wiedenhoff. Ball forced inside, and 3-on-2 Huckabee. And they slow it down. Holmes. The free man is Huckabee. Free for the moment. Jason Holmes. Deflection and the steal. The Wildcats have played some good defense. Wiedenhoff. Good move by Brian Wiedenhoff.
Nice move. Good body control by Wiedenhoff on that shot.
4:39 left in the first half. The Wildcats lead 26-18. There's Rick Bivens. He has just checked back in for Kokomo, number 20. And the Wildcats continue to press. Riggs. Huckabee. Out to Holmes. And Kokomo really has done a good job defensively.
Yeah, they're doing an outstanding job, and big basket right here. Newcastle really needs to get a bucket.
And a steal by Brandon Riggs. But he's 1-on-4. Holmes. And he draws the foul.
Well, that steal by Riggs is really big, because now they've got a chance to score, and it looks like they're going to put Holmes at the free throw line with 2 shots, and he's a 79% free throw shooter. Newcastle's in a situation where they're down 8 right now. Kokomo's got the momentum, and the Trojans really need to try to put a stop to this right now and not let this get too far out of hand.
Donnie Bowling commits his second personal. Chris Huntley inbounding. He just checked into the game. Eric England goes up, and there's a whistle. Foul against the Wildcats on Ryan Smalley, number 1 on Smalley.
And I thought they were going to give Holmes the free throws. They say the foul's before the shot. But now England comes to the line as a 75% free throw shooter, so he really needs to sink these.
Now returning for the Wildcats.
Here's Dennis Ballantyne, number 34, back in for Kokomo, replacing Brian Wiedenow. Eric England, a 6'8" sophomore at the line. And he misses. He is averaging 5.3 per game. That one also is no good. It will belong to Newcastle. Chris Huntley will inbound. Five seconds. Well, we've seen a 10-second and a 5-second violation, and Sam Alford obviously isn't too happy about it as you look at him.
No, turnovers are just killing Newcastle at this point. They have been averaging 19 turnovers per game. If they keep going at this rate, they're going to exceed that.
For Newcastle, number 11, Jason Holmes, number 15, Travis Reitman, and number 51, Chad Barrett.
Number of substitutions made. Jason Holmes back in. Travis Reitzman back in there. So is Chad Berry, all for the Trojans. As Sam Alford brings in 3 players during that dead ball. Donnie Boulding. Donnie Boulding with a 3, and he now has 13 points. 6'2" junior averaging 13.3, and Sam Alford wants timeout. 3:41 left first half. Kokomo 29, Newcastle 18. We'll be back in just a moment. Howard Kellman and Brian Alexander, we are back at Kokomo High School, and Sam Alford is obviously very upset at what's happened. We saw him belt his fist onto the chair during that timeout.
Well, he really is upset, and rightfully so. Newcastle just not taking care of the basketball offensively, and defensively they're not moving very well, giving up too many open jump shots. So they're going to have to make some adjustments and get back in this one.
And they led it 1 point, 8-0. They're down by 11, though, 29-18. 3:25 left in the first half, and we have a whistle as Kyle Huckabee makes a move and a foul against Kokomo.
Kokomo foul
On Pete Corpetz in his first personal, blocking foul. Common foul. Wet spot on the floor. Jason Holmes to inbound for Newcastle. Can't understand that pass, and it's taken away, and Rick Bivens ends up with the ball. Donnie Boulding, he got a good head start on
Yeah, it looked like he might have got away with a step there.
Built up a head of steam. Donnie Boulding with 15 points to lead all scorers. And the ball is thrown away by Chris Huntley. 3:06 left in the half. The Wildcats lead 31-18. Here's Rick Bivens.
Newcastle switched to man-to-man now, an adjustment that Alford made during the timeout, trying to get a little more pressure on the basketball.
Corpetz into the lane. Nobody stops him. Pete Corpetz now has 3 field goals for 6.
Well, you know, they switched defenses. That's the 3rd defense they've been in now, but no matter what defense you're running, if players aren't moving their feet, it's not going to work.
Kokomo leading 33-18. 2.5 minutes to go in the first half. Jason Holmes misses. And a leaping Pete Corpetz with a rebound. Here's Rick Bivens. And he doesn't make the shot, but he draws the foul. Chad Berry commits his first personal. Rick Bivens fouled in the act of shooting. There's Sam Alford.
Well, Kokomo really doing a good job of taking advantage of what Newcastle's given right now. You know, they're repeatedly able to get into the lane, and if not into the lane, then they're getting open jump shots, and they're really taking advantage and doing a nice job.
Bivens makes the first. And he makes the second. He now has 5 points. The Wildcats are pressing Huntley, and they beat the press to the Trojans. This is Reitzman, and he's fouled by Dennis Ballantyne. Number 2 on Ballantyne with 2:11 left in the half, and Kokomo leading 35-18. Jason Holmes to inbound.
Now returning for the Wildcats, number 24, Jeff Bender.
Jeff Bender, number 24, back in for Kokomo, replacing Dennis Ballantyne. Ballantyne scored 5 points. Huckabee. Huckabee for 3, no. Donnie Bowling with a rebound. Nobody stops him. Korpitz. Reitzman blocked the shot and committed the foul.
Well, they called the foul. Be interesting to see if they count the basket. It looked like he might have got a goaltending on that, but it's not going to go that way.
No goaltending call. Pete Korpitz at the line.
Now returning for the third, number 21, Sean Tabor.
There's Sean Tabor, number 21, back in for Newcastle.
Moncho Korpitz will shoot 2.
And Korpitz makes the first one.
Korpitz, a 46% free throw shooter, and tonight, boy, everything's really going right for the Wildcats.
Short with that one. Huntley with a rebound. Holmes. Jason Holmes to Reitzman. And as Sean Tabor goes up, there's a whistle. Pete Korpitz committing foul number 2. As Jeremy Markle, number 44, checks in for Kokomo. Here is Sean Tabor at the line, a 6'3" senior. Courtney Dick, number 41, coming into your picture for Newcastle, replacing Chad Berry.
Also in for Kokomo, number 32,
There's Brian Wiedenoft as well, number 32 for Kokomo, and Pete Korpitz will sit down. Korpitz scored 7.
Well, that's a good move by Charlie Hall with the 18-point lead here. He's able to give some of his starters a rest for the last minute and a half of the first half. And you know, the way Kokomo plays by pressing 32 minutes a game, that could really be a big advantage in the second half as some of his kids are a little more rested.
And there is Charlie Hall. You saw him. First free throw is good. Sean Tabor misses the second one, and the rebound to Jeff Bender. Wiedenoff.
Looks like Kokomo's going to spread the floor out here, possibly hold the ball for one shot or nothing but a layup.
A minute 13 left in the half. Wildcats by 17, 36-19. Bender to Bivens. 1 minute remaining in the half. Wiedenoff.
See, in this spread offense, the idea is to keep that middle cleared and let the man penetrate to the middle until he draws a second defender and then give the ball up to the open man. Clear out the middle and let the next guy go.
45 seconds left in the first half. Bender. Bivens. .30 seconds left in the half. Bender. Near steal by Reitzman. 20 seconds. Bender. 10 seconds. Nice pass inside to Ryan Smalley for the basket.
Well, they executed that whole session perfectly.
Couldn't have been any better, and that is the end of the first half as Chris Huntley misses. At halftime, Kokomo 38, Newcastle 19, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Do you want to find a new and friendly restaurant for breakfast, lunch, and dinner?
And we're at halftime here at Kokomo High School Memorial Gym. The Wildcats are leading 38-19. Halftime entertainment, and we had quite a finish to the end of that first half.
Well, Kokomo really did an outstanding job. They held the ball for about a minute and a half. Here you see Jeff Bender on the dribble. Nice ball fake, beautiful bounce pass to Ryan Smalley rolling down the lane. He'll go up strong with it and score the end of the half. Perfect execution on the delayed game in the bucket by the Kokomo Wildcats at the end of the half.
Okay, and that gives the Wildcats the 19-point lead, 38-19, as you see the clock ticking down, 5:24 from starting period number 3. We're going to look at some first half statistics.
Well, 38-19, as you said, Kokomo leading. One big stat here is Kokomo shooting the ball very well, 18-27 from the field, including 2 of 3 from three-point range. While Newcastle only 7 of 18 from the field, 3 of 4 from three-point range. The Wildcats 4 out of 6 from the line, Newcastle 2 out of 7. And the other big stat, 4 turnovers for Kokomo, but 13 turnovers for the Newcastle Trojans. Kokomo had 16 rebounds and Newcastle 11 in the first half.
What do you think Sam Alford is saying to his team now?
Well, I think 2 things. One, obviously, they have to do a much better job of taking care of the basketball. You know, they only took 18 shots in the first half, partly because of the 13 turnovers. They've got to take care of the basketball much better. And the other thing, they've got to work harder defensively, get more pressure on Kokomo shooters. Kokomo 18 out of 27 from the field is outstanding for a team that's been shooting 45% from the season. So they're just going to have to work harder defensively.
Okay, Brian, and we'll be back with period number 3 in just a moment. For Kokomo, the Wildcats leading by 19 as we begin the third period. Bivens against Holmes. Ryan Smalley working up high.
Newcastle starting out the second half as the end of the first half in the man-to-man defense.
And a foul away from the ball on Sean Tabor. His second personal. Pushing off. Number 21.
Newcastle foul on Sean Tabor.
Rick Bivens inbounding. Bivens against Holmes. One-on-one clearance. And Jason Holmes commits the personal.
Nice job by Rick Bivens, just taking the ball right up the lane that time and drawing the foul as he goes to the basket.
Second personal on Holmes, so we have played 19 seconds, and the Trojans have committed 2 fouls. Bivens. Bowling. Corpetz fakes the shot. Here's Bivens. Donnie Bowling. And now Corpetz, and he hits. Pete Corpetz now with 4 field goals and a free throw for 9. And that ball simply is thrown away. Bivens. All the way. No. Ballantyne with the rebound. Here's Bivens. To Ballantyne, into Corpetz. And he is hacked in the act.
Corpetz, nice cut off the back screen there, set by Ryan Smalley down on the block, and caught the ball, just squared up, took it up strong.
That's a term that isn't used too often anymore. Hacked. Fouled in the act of shooting. Pete Corpetz at the line. Kyle Huckabee committing his first personal, says Don Spall, our statistician as usual. Corpetz makes the first one.
Kokomo really doing a nice job so far against this Newcastle man-to-man. They've been patient, they've moved the ball, they're cutting well, and they're getting good shots.
Second one, no good. And the rebound to Chris Huntley. End to end, but he misses. Ryan Smalley pulls it down. Bowling with Ballantyne, and Bowling has got it, and he's fouled as well. Sean Tabor commits his third personal.
We're at that point in the ball game now with the big lead. Kokomo's really able to loosen up, and they made that outlet pass nearly to half court there, and boy, they're just going to start turning things up. And you see Sam Alford there is really upset with the call, and he's going to draw the technical foul.
Alford hit with a tee. .640 to go in the third period. Kokomo's lead now is 43-19. Donnie Bowling at the line. No good.
You can't be sure, but I think Sam may be complaining about the previous no call at the other end as Newcastle was taking the ball to the basket, and looked like they might have been fouled, and there was no call at Newcastle's end.
I think you're right. Ryan Smalley at the line. Good to have Dennis Casey back with us. Our executive producer was out last week with the flu. That one's no good. And that one is good. Kokomo ball. Bivens and Bowling work in the backcourt.
Again, this is the point in the ball game where if you're Newcastle, you really have to work hard just to get back in this. There's the danger of this thing just really avalanching at this point.
Ballantyne to Bowling. Corpetz, and he's fouled in the act of shooting. Second personal on Eric England. Pete Corpetz at the free throw line, and we have had a number of fouls here in this third period.
Well, Newcastle just really having trouble with Kokomo's quickness. They're just a step slow, and you've got to play defense with your feet, not your hands. Right now, Newcastle just not moving their feet quick enough to stay up with the Wildcats.
Corpetz misses the first one. That one's good. And Corpetz now has 10 points. Check that, 11 points. Chris Huntley. Holmes. Huckabee spinning, but he misses the shot. Pete Corpetz with a rebound. Rick Bivens. Corpetz. Corpetz on the baseline. Smalley can't hang on. Here's Jason Holmes. Long one. No good by Chris Huntley. Follow-up no good by England. Ballantyne rebounds. Rick Bivens. And Donnie Bowling. Huckabee with the rebound.
We kind of forced that shot that time. Not the good kind of shot that Kokomo's been getting so far in this half.
And the interception off the deflection by Bowling. Here's Ballantyne for the jumper. Smalley's follow. Corpetz follows. 47-19 Kokomo. Newcastle hasn't scored yet in the third period. And Eric England is hammered by Ryan Smalley. Smalley's second personal. Kokomo led 22-16 at the quarter, 38-19 at halftime. Here's Jim Bell, number 54, the 6'11 senior, checking in. As you look at Eric England, a 6'8 sophomore, averaging 5.3 points per game. That's his third point of this game. And that's the first Newcastle point of the third period. And we've played 3 minutes and 10 seconds in the period.
You look out at that Newcastle lineup, how you really got to like this team the next couple of years. I know Sam Alford certainly is more concerned about this year at this point, but they're starting a freshman, a sophomore, and a junior, so the future looks bright for the Trojans.
It's a young team, and they come in with a 5-13 record. Jim Bell fumbles that pass. Fires it to Bowling. And that shot is rejected by Eric England. Well, there's a flash of what we may see in the next couple of years.
There's
you were
the
talking
sophomore,
about.
6'8" sophomore Eric England on that block.
Jason Holmes, who is a junior. Huntley, tough shot. Jim Bell at 6'11". That's why they say can't teach height. He was flat-footed and came down with the rebound. And a steal by Holmes. 3-on-2, and he slows it down.
When we talk about Kokomo getting loose, that time Bender just really got careless on the pass.
Here's a foul against Kokomo. Pete Corpetz, check it. Dennis Ballantyne, number 3.
That's his third, the team's second.
Common foul, non-shooting foul. 4:02 left in the third period. Kokomo leading 47-21. Holmes got away with an elbow, and he makes the basket. Not a flagrant elbow at all, but he did move his man away. Kokomo leading 47-23. Bell is deep. Bender is free, and he hits Jeff Bender.
A nice pass by Jeff Bell there along the baseline. He was double teamed, had nowhere to go with it, and was able to hit Bender open in the corner. That's a nice job by Bell.
Jason Holmes. Out to Chris Huntley. And a foul here on Jeff Bender. First foul on Bender, common foul. Jason Holmes will inbound with 3:21 left in the third period. Huckabee. Tabor. Huckabee in the lane. And he is fouled.
That was a good job there by Huckabee, taking it right to the 6'11" Jim Bell, and Huckabee at 6'3" had no hesitation about him. Huckabee's a freshman and he's averaging 6 points a game for the Trojan. I really think he's going to be a good player. As you mentioned earlier, his brother Barry, an excellent player for Newcastle.
Okay, so Kyle Huckabee, the 6'3" freshman at the line. Misses the free throw. .314 left in the third quarter. Misses that one too. Kokomo leading 49-23. Wiedenoft to Ballantyne. And look at Huckabee go up for the rebound. To Holmes. Huckabee. Jim Bell has the rebound, and Huckabee goes reaching in and fouls him.
Well, that shot there by Huckabee, kind of a running jumper off of 1 foot. Would have been better off just to stop, square up, and try to take the 8-9 foot jumper. And I think he probably knew that after he let go of the shot and tried to make up for it. And a lot of times you do that and you end up getting the foul.
Okay, Jim Bell at the free throw line. Huckabee committing his second personal. Pete Corpetz back in for Kokomo. There he is, number 30. And Dennis Ballantyne will sit down. Ballantyne scored 5 points. Here's Rick Bivens, number 20 in for Kokomo. He'll replace Donnie Bowling, who scored 17. 15 of them in the first half. Here's Chad Berry, number 51, checking in for Newcastle, replacing Eric England. England scored 4 points. There he is, sitting down. Jim Bell misses. The rebound to Brandon Riggs. Huntley to Holmes. And he lost the basketball, and he's traveling. Well, they've held Holmes in check. He is averaging 17.1 Had the 2 3-point field goals in the opening moments, but only has scored 2 other points.
Well, he's really had a lot of problems, as you said, holding on to the basketball, and just the whole night's been really tough for Newcastle. They haven't been able to get into anything offensively, and the turnovers just been killing them.
When you look at the tough time that Jason Holmes has had, I think you really have to credit those Wildcats for that. Corpetz misses. Berry with a rebound.
See another freshman in the ball game here, number 10, Scott Miller.
He was not with the team at the beginning of the year. Bender, play getting a little sloppy. Wiedenhoff, look at that shot.
When things are going well, they're going well, I guess.
51-23 Kokomo. Reitzman. This is Miller. Riggs out to Huntley. Huntley, and he hits 3-pointer. Long one for Chris Huntley, averaging 9.3 per game. 5'11" senior.
And he's shooting 43% from 3-point range. I believe that's the first one that he's attempted tonight.
Bender, and Bivens simply didn't hang on to the ball. 1:19 left in the third period. There it is. 51-26. Kokomo. Riggs. Miller. And a foul on Chad Berry.
Now, foul's going to go on Jim Bell that time.
Jim Bell commits his second personal. Berry is fouled. Common foul, 5th team foul. Huntley inbounding to Miller. Huntley, this time he missed it. Bell with a rebound. And Bender is fouled by Huntley. And as we pointed out, and you've pointed out so many times, that's a foul that'll really upset coaches. No need for it.
Yeah, just reaching for the basketball out the midcourt. No chance of stealing the basketball in that situation.
Jeff Bender will have the
Jeff Bender, 1-and-1. 5'9" junior. First appearance at the free throw line in this game. He will get the bonus. That's his 5th point. 52 seconds left in period 3. Kokomo leading 53-26 as Bender makes them both. Huntley. Brandon Riggs rejected by Jim Bell. Taken by Bender with Corpetz on the left. And on the right, the pass deflected out of bounds by a trailing Brandon Riggs.
You see the block down there by Bell, a player who really doesn't get a lot of notoriety at all. But when you've got a kid like that, 6'11", and come in, give you a solid 8-9 minutes a game, it's really valuable to a basketball team.
Absolutely. Bivens. Bender directing traffic with 30 seconds left in the third period. Wiedenhoff. And Huntley with a near steal, tripped over Bivens, who recovers. 15 seconds. 10 seconds. This is Bivens. 5 seconds, and there's the whistle and the player control foul on Rick Bivens with 5 seconds left in the third period. First personal on Bivens. Brandon Riggs will inbound. Miller picks the ball up, and a long one is good by Chad Berry. Counted, 3-pointer. And that's the end of the third period. Kokomo 53, Newcastle 29. Fourth and final period in just a moment. Howard Kelman, Brian Alexander as we get ready for the fourth and final period at Memorial Gym. Newcastle ball, Kokomo leading 53-29. Wildcats led 22-16 at the quarter and 38-19 at halftime. Scott Miller. Pass forced inside, deflected, and intercepted by Ballantyne. To Bivens. For Petz. Bowling. Ballantyne. Dennis Ballantyne has his third field goal. He has 7 points. 55-29. Kokomo. Huntley. Miller faked the shot. Brandon Riggs. Miller. Looks like the old set shot. Foul underneath. Chad Berry with his second personal. I haven't seen a shot like that in a few years.
Well, he was way out. Looked like he was a step or two outside that three-point line, too.
Reminded me of the days of the NBA in the 1950s. Saw Charlie Hall there, acting Kokomo head coach. Ballantyne makes the free throw.
You know, Howard, you take a look at Kokomo's 7 losses this year, and they came at the hands of teams that have lost an average of only 3 points a game, and most of those teams have been rated very highly in the state all year. And so, you know, this is a team that maybe 11-7 record's a little bit deceiving.
Well, Kokomo certainly has played very well in this game and is leading 57-29 with 7 minutes to go. Riggs outside to Miller. Reitzman. Travis Reitzman with his first 2 points of the game. 6'4" junior. Rick Bivens. Deflection and the steal by Chad Berry, and Bivens goes in out of frustration and fouls him.
Talking about the teams that Kokomo has lost to, number 2 Anderson, number 3 Brownsburg, as well as Muncie Central, Richmond, Lafayette, Jeff, who are all rated in the top 15 in the state. So they played a good schedule, and you know that's the kind of thing that really helps to prepare a team for the tournament.
Absolutely. Okay. Chad Berry, a 6'6" sophomore at the line. 1 and 1, and he'll get the bonus.
And talk about
first free throw.
Talking about preparing for a tournament, I think if you're Newcastle in this situation, you know, you're not going to come back and win this game very likely, but you just have to try and execute in this fourth quarter and try to do some things well. You still have to think about the tournament's coming up in 2 weeks, so you want to try to get something out of this if you possibly can.
57-33. Kokomo, 6.5 to go in the game. Ballantyne makes it. Dennis Ballantyne now has 4 field goals and 3 free throws for 11. He's averaging 14.8. Miller. Riggs. Brandon Riggs battles but misses. Look at that pass, fired off the hands of Donnie Bolden.
Well, Kokomo obviously with the lead now, as we said earlier, they're playing loose and they're trying to run a little bit. And when you're trying to run, you're going to throw the ball away every once in a while. But that wasn't a bad look.
The ball belongs to Newcastle. Brandon Riggs. And a long one is good by Chris Huntley. Chris Huntley's second 3-point field goal of the game.
So there's Huntley. You've got a 43% three-point shooter. And when he doesn't get a three-point attempt until almost towards the end of the third quarter, you know your offense hasn't been running very well and you haven't executed to get the shots.
Corpetz answers. And a long one is no good by Huntley. Look at this, bench clearing time. Jeff Bender coming in for Kokomo along with Brian Wiedenoff. Scott Miller, Jason Holmes, Courtney Dick, and Kyle Huckabee all come in for Newcastle. with less than 5 minutes to go, and Kokomo leading 61-36. Jim Bell is deep, and he hits. 63-36 Kokomo. Holmes to Miller. Holmes. Tip no good. Berry battling, and Chad Berry misses. Jim Bell has it taken away, and the reverse is no good by Miller. The follow by Berry is good. 7 points for Chad Berry.
Well, Chad Berry working hard to keep the ball alive that time. There's another sophomore that the Newcastle Trojans have in the ball game.
Kokomo ball. Donnie Bowling. Dennis Ballantyne banks it home. 65-38 Kokomo. 3:50 left in the game. Huckabee. Miller to Courtney Dick. And a steal by Bender, who is fouled by Jason Holmes. Number 3 on Holmes.
Newcastle foul on Jason Holmes. That's his third. Now in for Kokomo.
Jeremy Markle in for Kokomo.
Bill Bassett and number 44, Jeremy Markle.
Bill Bassett, number 21,
Jeff Bender will have the bonus.
in for Kokomo. Bender at the line, and he'll get the bonus. With 3:38 to go. Channel 40's High School Game of the Week. And next week we'll be at Brownsburg, Franklin Central at Brownsburg, in our final telecast of the 1991-92 season. And they throw it away, intended for Huckabee and out of bounds.
Well, that was just an unforced turnover, and right now Newcastle's really, a lot of the kids are feeling down about themselves. Their last game of the season is going to be next Tuesday against Pendleton Heights, and that's a game that I think they really need to come out and play well in order to, as we talked about earlier, get a little bit of momentum going into the tournament. But they really need to rebound from this.
Kokomo ball, here's Bender. Bender to Bassett. And the ball turned over. Scott Miller has it. There's Miller. 3 minutes to go in the game. Reitzman. Miller. Down low to Huckabee. Weaving his way inside. And he's fouled. Jeff Bender commits his second personal.
Kokomo foul is on Jeff Bender. That's his second.
Here's Michael Norman, number 10, checking in for Kokomo.
Number 10, Michael Norman, and number 40.
Sean Brady, number 40, coming in. Brian Wiedenoff and Jeff Bender sit down. Barry Huckabee. Kyle Huckabee, I should say, at the line. Makes the free throw.
Take a look at it here. There's a nice little pass as Huckabee takes the ball in strong, and you see the foul in the reach in.
That one also is good by Kyle Huckabee. Eric England checking back in.
45, Eric England.
Number 45 for Newcastle. Here comes Tom Lingelbaugh, number 41 for Kokomo, replacing Jim Bell. 2:55 left in the game. Kokomo leading 67-40. The inbounds pass is stolen by Reitzman. And he is fouled. Personal on Bill Bassett.
Football foul on Bill Bassett. That's his first.
Travis Reitzman at the line. a 6'4" junior. 1-1. And the rebound to Huckabee, and he is rejected by Markle. The foul committed by Sean Brady, his first personal. Huckabee at the line.
Kyle Huckabee will shoot 2.
That is good. Huckabee now has 9 as he makes the second one also. Kokomo leading 67-42. 2:45 left in the game. '21 is Bassett. 10 is Michael Norman. Bassett. The rebound to Courtney Dick, and he's immediately fouled. Sean Brady picking up his second personal.
Foul on Sean Brady, that's his second.
So Courtney Dick will be at the line, shooting 1-1.
Courtney Dick.
Now this win for Newcastle is going, or win for Kokomo is going to push the all-time series record a little closer. This will be 48 wins for Kokomo against, or 38 wins for Kokomo against 40 for Newcastle. So it's been a long series and it's been a close one.
Thanks as always to Terry Downham, the sports information director here at Kokomo High School. Puts together those fine notes. Michael Norman misses. Huckabee with a rebound. Here's Miller. I'd like to see him with that set shot again. England to Huckabee. Good move by Kyle Huckabee. 67-44 Kokomo. Lingelbaugh to Bassett. They work the ball around, and we have a foul. Well, we certainly have had our share of fouls in this game. Scott Miller commits the personal.
Newcastle foul on Scott Miller, that's his first. Now returning to the Trojans, number 51, Chad Berry.
Chad Berry back in for Newcastle, replacing Travis Reitzman.
Winning this one pushes Kokomo's record on the season up to 12-7 with 1 game left, that being next Friday at home against Gary Wallace. And so this will be 2 wins in a row for Kokomo. We talked about building some momentum. If they can beat Wallace next weekend, then that will give them 3 in a row going into the sectional.
Lingelbaugh will get the bonus. Tom Lingelbaugh, a 6'3" junior. Kokomo leading 68-44 with 1.5 minutes left. The rebound to Eric England. Scott Miller. Huckabee. Miller. England inside is fouled by Sean Brady, who has just played a few minutes and picked up his 3rd personal foul.
Well, that's one way to get into the box score.
Yeah.
Kokomo foul on Sean Brady, that's his 3rd.
1:13 left. Eric England at the line. 1-1. Free throw is good.
Look there at the Kokomo cheering section as they're enjoying this one.
That one also is good. Michael Norman with the ball, guarded by Scott Miller. Bassett, and he's hammered by Chad Berry.
Newcastle foul on Chad Berry, that's his 3rd.
Number 30 on Berry.
Will shoot 2.
So Bill Bassett at the line.
I don't want to jinx him or anything, but Billy Bassett has not missed a free throw this season. He's 6 out of 6, so we'll see how well he does here.
Okay, he's a 6'4" junior.
I did it.
Good job,
I did it.
Brian. They missed them both. Now he's just a 75% shooter from the line. Miller. Huckabee. Eric England. Follow no good. And rebound to Tom Lingleball. Sean Brady misses. And that shot is no good by Bassett. There's a jump ball. Alternate possessions. It belongs to Kokomo. With 28 seconds to go and Kokomo leading 68-46. Didn't start off this way. Newcastle led 8-0. Brady. Sean Brady for 3. So he gets his name into the scoring column. As Brian pointed out, he already had gotten into the box score with 3 personals. Huckabee. Kyle Huckabee's second 3 of the game. 8 seconds. Huckabee bats it away, saves it, wants to heave it up. He does. No good, and that's it. Final score, Kokomo 71, Newcastle 49. We'll be back in just a moment.
Ivy Tech, the right choice for Mark Pickett.